Good morning, dear student. I am Kunal Kiran from the Millennium School, Lucknow. Children, we are learning about journal, how to journalize business transaction. We have till then understood what is the method of journalizing. There are two rules we have learned, that is conventional rule and modern rule. So today I would like to move forward in journalizing the transaction. I'm starting with the first transaction, sold goods costing rupees 2 lakh to Satyam at a profit of 25% on cost less 10% trade discount. If you analyze this transaction, in this transaction, there is no cash is involved, so it is a credit transaction. Two accounts are involved, Satyam and sales. Satyam is the receiver of goods and sales is a nominal account and it's an income for the business. So Satyam is a customer, he is the receiver of goods. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So Satyam account should be debited and sales as an income should be credited. So sales account will be credited. But before that, we have to calculate the selling price. They have given you cost price of rupees 2 lakh. They are selling it at 25% on profit of 25% of cost. So we will calculate 25% of the 2 lakh is 50,000. It will be added. Now this 2 lakh 25, 2 lakh 50,000 become list price or invoice price of the goods. And on this price, on this list price, we are allowing trade discount of 10%. So 10% of 2,50,000 is 25,000. We deduct it and selling price become 2,25,000. So on this amount we are selling to the Satyam. So the journal entry will be Satyam account debit to sales account 2,25,000 and narration will be being goods sold on credit at a profit of 25% on cost at 10% trade discount. Another topic I'm taking here, payment received, payment or receipt on behalf of customer or supplier. Sometime you are receiving payment on behalf of customer. You are making payment on behalf of customer. So suppose you are selling goods and you have paid carriage on those goods to deliver those goods to the customer business house. So that carriage what you have paid on behalf of customer is not your expense of your business. So that should be, you are paying, your cash is going out, that's okay, but that shouldn't be shown as an expense for you. This is an expense of the customer, so it should be added to the customer account. So I have written, if business pays expense on behalf of its customers, such payment do not constitute the expenditure of the business. It should be debited to the concerned customer account. For example, I have taken carriage paid on behalf of customer Ved rupees 5,000. So Ved is, there are two accounts are involved, carriage paid on behalf of our customer Ved. So two accounts are involved, Ved and the cash we are making payment. Carriage paid is not expense for us. So Ved is the receiver, actual receiver of this expense. So Ved should be debited and cash is going out from the business. So cash account will be credited. So Ved account debited to cash account. Now next example I have taken in a some more comprehensive manner. So this example is, sold goods costing rupees 45,000 to Akhand at a profit of rupees 33 1 by 3% on cost less 20% trade discount and paid carriage rupees 400 to be charged from customer. Now in this transaction, we are selling goods to the Akhand and there is no cash is involved, so it is a credit transaction. We are selling goods to Akhand on credit and we also paid carriage to deliver that goods to Akhand's business house. So but that carriage should be paid by recovered from the Akhand as a customer. So first of all we should calculate the selling price, because they in the transaction profit margin as well as trade discount is given. So first of all cost price calculation I have shown as a working note. Cost price of the goods is 45,000, add profit that is 33, 1 by 3%, that is almost one third, that is one third. So 45,000 multiplied by 100 by 300 or 1 by 3, that is 15,000. So 45,000 plus 15,000. Now this is my invoice price 60,000 or list price. On this list price we are allowing 20% trade discount, so 20% of the 60,000 is 12,000. So we will deduct it and this 48,000 is a selling price. So actual payment at the time of sale is our sale is 48,000 and the same time we are making payment of 400 as a carriage. So Akhand is responsible to make towards the business for 48,400. So if you go through as a conventional rule, so Akhand is a personal account. He is the receiver of goods of 48,000 and the same time he is the receiver of loss of rupees 400, because we are making payment on behalf of him and this 400 what we are making payment as a carriage. He is responsible. He is the actual receiver of that expense. So he is the receiver with the 48,400. We should debit Akhand with Akhand should be debited with 48,400. Sales as an income nominal account, it should be credited with 48,000 and cash is going out from the business, so 400 should be credited. So the journal entry will be Akhand debited to sales account to cash account 400. Similarly, another point I'm taking it, similarly the business may receive any amount on behalf of its supplier. Such amount does not become the income of business. Hence, it should be credited to the concerned supplier account. Suppose any supplier, we are receiving some on behalf of someone, any amount, that amount is not our money, that is not our income. So because cash is coming into the business, it should be recorded, but that shouldn't be recorded in as an income for us. For that amount is it's a liability for us and liability towards that concerned supplier. So if we are, suppose example I have given, interest received 7,000 on behalf of our supplier Satyam. So cash is coming into the business, so cash account will be debited and actual giver of this cash, actual person who is responsible for us, he is liability for us, so increase in liability should be credited, so to Satyam account. Satyam become our creditor. In future we will pay him 7,000. So being interest received on behalf of supplier, of our supplier. Now next point I'm discussing here is advance received against the supply of goods. Suppose we are selling goods on this terms that whosoever is placing order to us, he must pay some amount of payment as an advance. So any advance money we are receiving against the supply of goods, that advance should be, that advance money received is debited to the cash or bank account and credited to advance from customer. So to, for example, I have taken received an advance of rupees 8,000 from Salman against order for supply of goods. So cash is coming into the business, so cash will be debited and actual giver is Salman. So advance, and Salman, why he is giving as an advance. So he is the giver. So we are opening an account with the name advance from Salman. Or in other words, if we are using modern rule, cash is an asset of the business. Asset is increasing, so increase in asset should be debited, and the same time whatever the advance we are receiving from the customer, it is a liability for us, because in future we have to give services to them. For so advance from Salman is a liability, increase in liability should be credited. So cash account debited to advance from Salman, being advance received from supply of goods. Now, another point is advance paid to supplier for supply of goods. The same way, if we are purchasing goods and our supplier is demanding some advance at the time of order we are placing towards him, so we have to pay some advance. So if we are making payment to if we are making advance to our supplier for supply of goods, how will you record it in our books? For example, I have taken paid rupees 25,000 as an advance to Krishna Traders against an order for supply of goods. In this transaction, two accounts are involved: advance to Krishna Trader, and the same time cash is going out. So if you use modern rule, advance to supplier, advance to Krishna Trader, Krishna Trader is our debtor, because he is receiving advance from us, and in future he will provide services to us. So debtors are an asset for the business. Increase in asset should be debited, so advance to Krishna Trader account should be debited, and the same time cash is also an asset and it is decreasing from the business, so it should be credited. So advance to Krishna Trader debit to cash account. When actual goods received from the supplier, suppose we have paid advance, some amount of advance to our supplier at the time of placing an order, but when actually we are getting the order, the whole amount of goods from my supplier, that time how will you pass the journal entry? That's the next point I have discussed: when actual goods received from the supplier. For example, I have taken goods delivered by Krishna Traders of rupees 1 lakh, for which we have paid advance of rupees 25,000 at the time of placing order to them. Balance amount paid to Krishna Trader. So now goods which we the order we have placed to against Krishna Trader of rupees 1 lakh, and so our purchase of goods is 1 lakh. Increase in expense, purchase our expenses, increase in expenses should be debited, so purchase account debited with 1 lakh. And now we have already, so this advance to Krishna Trader will be settled here. We are not going to pay 1 lakh to Krishna Trader right now, because 25,000 we have already paid. So that will be close here. Here we have debited, now we will credit it to close advance to Krishna Trader account, and to cash for the balance amount we have paid, decrease in asset should be credited. So again, this is advance to Krishna Trader is also an asset. Right now it is decreasing, so it should be credited here. So in other words, we are closing the advance to Krishna Trader account, and for closing it we will credit it. So this is the journal entry: purchase account debited to cash to advance to Krishna Traders 25,000. If you look at both the entries, if you combined it, suppose you are purchasing goods and simple purchase account debited to cash, right? So if you combine this, because it is happening in different dates, first you have paid advance, then you have received goods. For that you have to pass two journal entries. But if you analyze it, what is happening is, ad- whenever you are purchasing goods, the journal entry is purchase account debited to cash. Purchase of 1 lakh and cash should be 1 lakh. So if you combine these two journal entry, advance to Krishna Trader is debited here, it is credited here, set off to each other. Now what is left is purchase account debited with 1 lakh to cash should be created with 1 lakh, so cash is created here 25,000 and here is 25,000, here is 75,000 and here is in jobs above is 25,000. If you sum up, so cash become 1 lakh, so actual entry should be purchase account debited to cash 1 lakh. But because transaction is happened in different dates, so you will have to follow the chronology. Now next is the same thing will be happened when actual goods delivered to customer for which we have received advance. Just now we have discussed this transaction. This one we have received advance from the against the supply of goods. We have received advance from the customer for supply of goods. So now I'm talking about when we are actually delivering those goods to the customer. So when we are actually, I have given an example, delivered goods of rupees 40,000 to Salman for which he paid advance of rupees 8,000 at the time of placing order to us, received balance amount from Salman. So again, if you see, whatever the advance we have received is it was a liability for us right now, as we are delivering goods of rupees 40,000 to Salman as a customer, our liability is over. So decrease in liability should be debited, advance from Salman account should be debited, and the same time we are receiving the balance amount from the Salman. So as cash is an asset, it is increasing in the business, so it should be debited. Cash account debited with 32,000, and the same time sales is an income, increase in income should be credited, so sales account should be credited with 40,000. So the journal entry will be advance from Salman debited, cash account debited to Salman to sales account, being goods sold and advance received earlier adjusted. So even last one entry, that this one, if you go through this, so simple, if you pass simple journal entry, cash sale is cash account debited to sales. But because it was happened in a part, first we have received the advance, so cash account was debited with 8,000 and sales advance to for Salman account is credited here. Now in second we have at the time of actual sale we have adjusted, so advance from Salman is debited here, that in first entry it was credited, so set off each other. The actual cash to be received is 40,000. In last entry cash is received 32,000. We have already received in first entry, we have shown cash account debited with 8,000. So if you combine two journal entries, so cash account debited with 40,000 and sales as an income is 40,000. But since they are happened in different time, so it should be recorded separately. Now I'm taking a next point as a miscellaneous receipt. Sometimes some casual receipts are received from the business. Business received some casual receipts of a nominal value. Nominal value means a small value, small amounts. So for that we do not open a separate account. We should record those nominal receipts under the heading miscellaneous receipts account or sundry income account, right? So example of those is old new or sale of old newspaper, sale of old magazine, scrap, etc. i have taken example I have taken example, amount received from sale of old newspaper and magazine rupees 140. So cash is coming to the business, cash will be debited, and income, sale of old newspaper, the income we are having a 140 rupees income, that should be recorded under the name miscellaneous receipt account, or you can record it as a to sundry income account. You do not open an account to sale or say a receipt from old newspaper, sale of old newspaper. You should, every time if there is a nominal value, casual receipts are there, it should be clubbed under one account, that is miscellaneous receipt or miscellaneous income account. Now next is miscellaneous payment. Miscellaneous payment. Another point of discussion is miscellaneous payment or sundry expenses. Sometimes you are making payment of a nominal values. For small values you are making payments, such as purchase of newspaper, amount spent on refreshment of customer, purchase of subscription of periodicals, payment of subscription of periodicals, etc. For that you do not debit these accounts individually. They, all these nominal payments should be put under one heading, that is miscellaneous expenditure or miscellaneous expenses or sundry expenses account. So I have shown subscription paid for newspaper, magazine and periodical is 100 rupees. So journal entry will be sundry expenses account debited to cash accounts. Expenses should be debited and cash is going out, so it should be credited. Being subscription paid for newspaper, magazine and periodicals. Now next I'm discussing